Man, I am amazed. I am amazed at how much Fox Sports and really the Big Ten have already won when it comes to Jake's favorite podcast host, Dave Portnoy. Because you and Dave align morally, reprehensively, the way you treat women, like
how much pizza we eat,
how much pizza you eat. Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys align.
The same guy, dude. We're all shared values, and man, I'm just such a big Dave guy. I mean, this is incredible. How could Ohio State ban this guy?
Ohio State,
he's just such a perfect and just just an upstanding guy who's never done anything wrong in his life, man. It's really disappointing.
I'm such a big Dave guy.
Ohio State.
What do you make of this, Jake? Because the first thing Jake said to me this morning, when he called me and he said, "Hello, hi, honey." The first thing you said to me today was, you were like, "Oh yeah, Fox Sports already won with Dave Portnoy."
Yeah, I mean, this is already turning into everyone's talking about Fox and Dave, and it's the center of attention, and I think this is exactly what Fox wants. This is clearly a manufactured story. This is clearly a story that whoever came up with this story and this idea and got it put out initially did a really good job, because everybody was reporting on it. Everyone was saying, hey, like Dave got banned, and like he's nowhere he can't be inside the stadium, yada yada, and he's not going to be on set. One guy said originally, and so I just look at it and I say, like, first of all, this is classic Ohio State and Michigan, number one. Number two, yeah, Fox is already winning with this because they're in the drama and in the news leading up to the game. Yes. And I think that Fox is going to have to work hard to strike this balance between drama and being the hot story, even if it's kind of a negative story, and actually like doing your job and actually like reporting on football and like having a professional vibe about it on game day. Because that's my concern, is that Dave's going to show up and it's just going to be the Dave show, and it's going to be all this smack and bro, kind of like McAfee, and we're not going to get a good big noon kickoff show. That's my biggest concern.
Yeah, I think you'll get a good big noon kickoff show. I think that Fox Sports is very good at producing television shows. I am not. The thing that you can't do here is try to compare game day on ESPN to big noon kickoff on Fox. They feel different. I don't even think it's close. I'd watch Urban Meyer 10 times over Pervin Liar. Like Nick Saban over Pervin Liar 10 times. Pat McAfee, Dave Portnoy, you can throw them all in the same trash bin. Like, it doesn't matter to me. If I am watching those shows, and I regularly do not, but if I am watching those shows, I'm watching to talk about football. I'm not watching to look at Pat wearing a sleeveless shirt or Dave eating pizza. Like, I could not care less. It's not possible for me to care less about what those guys bring to the table, because frankly, I just don't think they bring that much to the table.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the crazy thing, is that I think that Fox's play here is to point this at like the younger demo, the 20-somethings, because I think that's where Dave really does a lot of his work, demographically speaking. And I sit here and I get that. I understand that Fox is trying to trend younger and trying to get younger, and I get that. But this isn't something I didn't find this story to be a thing where I was like, oh man, I'm really excited to watch Big Noon Kickoff now. I mean, isn't that the whole point? Isn't that why you brought Dave on? Like, I
don't think there's any question that's why they brought Dave on. But I also don't think there's any question that they've already gotten their bang out of it. I mean, the biggest thing here is, what do you believe? Did Ohio State ban Dave Portnoy from Ohio Stadium? I don't believe they are. I don't believe they did. No, I don't believe, Coach. And I think when I look at Ross Bjork talking about this today, saying we did not ban him, and it makes perfect sense that from what now is being said, Fox Sports does not plan to have Dave Portnoy sitting at the big desk like Pat McAfee on game day. And I say that because that's never been who Dave Portnoy is or was. And you can try to fit him into that role, but who are you going to take off that desk to put Dave Portnoy on it? Number one. And number two, I just don't view him as that guy. I view him as a guy you throw a shot to talk about lines or gambling, or maybe he's got an interesting anecdote. I have no idea. I don't believe for Dave Portnoy to be effective at Fox, he needs to be sitting at a desk in Ohio Stadium. I just don't see it that way.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I mean, I thought they were just going to make a bigger desk. I'm not even joking. I thought they were going to put him on that set originally. Like when that first got announced that he was going to Fox, my first thought was, yeah, you're going to put him on Big Noon Kickoff, and it's going to be, he's going to compete with Pat McAfee, and you're going to try and do that. And I agree with you that it's probably not his best role, but I also agree that Fox has never been, super logical and super tactful with how they build their lineups, because if they were, they wouldn't be in the spot that they are. So I still think that the experiment of like, hey, how are we going to use this guy? Because what I don't want, honestly, is I don't want the, you talk about like, hey, cutting to him, or like he's going to have an anecdote. Like, I don't want a cheesy, like clearly canned thing that you prepped on Friday playing during Big Noon Kickoff on Saturday. What I want is live shots from somewhere around the venue, which, clearly is controversial now, of Dave trying pizza or doing whatever he's doing. That to me, if you're not going to have him on set, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they use him. I don't pretend to have any insight into it. Frankly, I pay zero attention to what Fox Sports does. And I'm not being a hater. I actually enjoy Dave Portnoy a lot. I think his podcasts and his shows, I don't like his pizza stuff is entertaining. It just isn't that interesting to me either. But I just happen to be a guy that believes that you can't, in my opinion, you can't continue to play this game. Define a role for Dave Portnoy, because I need to know what he's going to be doing. And if I don't know what he's going to be doing, or fans don't know what he's going to be doing, it's going to be more and more difficult to be able to fit him into that mold. And what you need is for fans, when you turn on ESPN's College Game Day, it's the best of the best. You know exactly what you're getting from who. Corso's going to put on a mascot head, or used to. Like, you understand what that is.
There's a lot of credibility with those guys too.
Yeah, and at this point, I just don't think what they're going to do with Dave Portnoy. I think there is some intrigue in that. But I think this idea that Ohio State has somehow banned Dave Portnoy from Ohio Stadium is nonsense.
Ohio State?
I don't think Ohio State gives a rat's ass that Dave Portnoy is a Michigan fan, and I just don't think they care. I don't think Ohio State just won the most dominant national championship in the history of college football. And Michigan is humiliated, embarrassed, and beaten down. And you really think that Ohio State's going to go out of their way to ban Dave Portnoy because he's a Michigan super fan? I just don't think that matters. Why would they do that?
Yeah, I mean, and I think to that point, like this whole like, this thing about like, hey, Fox has kind of taken the Michigan side of the coin versus Ohio State here, as
Sure.
if Ohio State cares. Is the one that point to me is the one that I find so fascinating, because ESPN's never been seen, in my opinion, to be on one team's side or the other or whatever. Like, that's not really, ESPN has always been the we're way above all these issues, looking down on it, and we'll handle it how we see fit. And Fox is I think the unintended consequences of bringing Dave on has been that hey, you're pro Michigan, you're a little bit skewing pro Michigan, and you were more than happy to bring this guy on, drama included. And now here we are, and we're in a situation where it all depends on how people interpret this story. Because some people are going to say that Dave's a jackass and this is just a rough start for him, and he's already in the drama, and that'll be one take, and another take's going to be, well, screw Ohio State, like Michigan's better, like we're the best, like. So I just think that we have to see how Fox handles this, because ESPN has shown us that they know how to kind of wade through the chaos of the Pat McAfee experience, if you will. And I don't know that Fox has proven to be able to do that with all these different personalities. I mean, you've been sued several times. Like, you've lost a ton of talent because you don't know how to handle it. Like, so I don't have a lot of faith, that Fox is going to be just perfect at keeping Portnoy within the limits.
Yeah, I think he's a wild card. There's no doubt. I don't know. I probably give Ohio State too much credit. I think that there is no doubt in my mind that Ohio State's competitive and anything Michigan's a problem. Okay, as it should be. I do not believe for a second that Ohio State went out of their way to try and keep Dave Portnoy out of that stadium. I just don't buy that. There is no evidence to that. And I think it's fairly ridiculous that a lot of people believe that there is evidence of that. I think it is. I just think it's foolish. Why would they do that? Like, that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like, what does Ohio State get from that? What is the win in that? There's no win in that, right? Like, you are Texas, Ohio State, biggest game of the week. Everybody's going to be watching. All you would be doing is causing a distraction. My opinion is, it would not surprise me if Dave Portnoy, Barstool, Fox are the ones who fabricated. If it is fabricated, I don't know. But I think it would not surprise me at all if this was all WWE style drama and scripting to try and churn up some interest in that show, because that show is dead in the water when it comes to competing with ESPN. And I think Dave Portnoy's job is to make sure that they are competing with ESPN. And I don't even know how you begin to do that.
Yeah, because you're not on the desk. That's the problem. And this is why I say, how is he not on the desk during Big Noon Kickoff? How do you not have him? How do you not have him participating in that? I mean, I don't know, man. I think that if you're going to bring a guy like Portnoy over, how do you not have him on the desk for the show, number one, or even part of the show, number one? Number two, if you're not going to have him on the desk the whole show, do part of the show and send him out for features and stuff on game day, doing different things, like I was saying. And number three, just generally speaking, I don't think it's that hard to take advantage of the Barstool platform to push Big Noon Kickoff forward. It's just not that difficult.
And when you say it's not that difficult, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, those guys clearly know how to make compelling content, right? I mean, they're Barstool for a reason. You either love them or you hate them, but you do watch. And I think that's kind of what I mean, is like you have the merging of two, very capable outlets here. Fox obviously knows how to do very professional, very organized TV product, and Barstool knows how to do social media, off the cuff, more in your face kind of content. So I just don't think it's that hard to be like, yeah, Dave, we want your personality and your guys' personality on game day to bring college football fans a nice mix of desk talk and X's and O's. And also, what are we doing in the parking lot talk? Like, I just don't think it's that difficult, but I think I would not be surprised if Fox struggled to mesh these two.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's very well said. So are you a Portnoy fan or not? Like, we're just
not really
outside of Fox, or
I don't hate him. Like, I don't hate him. I think that it's very, like, for me.
Is he on your radar? Is he at all on your radar?
Not in the day to day. I see him on social media because they do such a good job. I mean, it would be just factually incorrect to say that I never see him or they're tiny, because they're not. Like, I see him. You run into him on all the different platforms and everything. But I wouldn't say that he's like a guy that I go out of my way to digest the content. I'm not like, oh man, I got to see what Portnoy is doing today. I dreaded the response to the Michigan punishment and the obnoxiousness of the way he handles it all. Just burns me out. That's just not the style that I enjoy. It doesn't mean that he sucks, but that's just not for me. And so that's why I'm saying, like, to go back to the beginning is like, if let's say that Dave had gotten banned, that would not have impacted me all that much. I wouldn't have been sitting here being like, oh man, big
Oh my
loss
God,
here, guys.
really?
Oh man, dude,
Oh,
like,
come on.
like at the same time, like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna look. I'm gonna watch him and see what they do. I'm gonna watch Big Noon Kickoff probably more than I watched Game Day this week, in particular because it's the debut.
I would
So,
have been incredibly disappointed in Ohio State if they would have banned him.
Ohio State?
Yeah, if Ohio State had banned him, I'd have been
Ohio State?
I'd have crushed him. But I don't believe for a second. I just don't think Ohio State, and this is going to sound probably contrite and whatever. I don't think Ohio State gives a rat's ass about Michigan right now. I don't
Do
think
you
they
believe?
I don't think they care. I don't think they are paying any mind to anything Michigan related. I think they are fully focused on wrecking Texas. And that's what they should be focused on. I think all this other nonsense. That's why I said my belief is that Michigan would love nothing more than to be a distraction and somehow play a role in Texas beating Ohio State. And I think Michigan would love that shit. And I
Right.
just don't think Ohio State's going to play into that. I really don't. All right, let's get your comments. Do you guys believe that Dave Portnoy was banned? Do you think Ohio State played a role in that? Lopes fan Gabe, why does Morty keep mispronouncing Ohio State?
Ohio State?
It's my bad. It's my bad. I cleft palate or something.
Timothy.
Yeah, I'm just not good. Big Blue Horses, hello. Welcome to the nightmare. Phil Venzer, TJ Beck. May your rectory be empty. Exactly. Oh, it's empty after the pregame today.
The biggest load that we've seen.
My God. King of Thailand, the real Pete Forte, and JD Wicker is still a tool. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I tend to lean
literally
in that.
nowhere to be seen. No JD Wicker talk on today's program to be seen. And here we are. JD Wicker is still a tool.
JD Wicker catching strays from San Diego State fans, right?
Bro.
Yes, you did.
Shout
Yes,
it.
you did.
Shout it. So everybody, how are we feeling about this Texas-Ohio State game real quick? I don't think you can call it one way or the other. If you're a betting man, don't be a betting man because I have no idea which way you lean on this. And obviously we'll have a full preview for you coming up Thursday and Friday. But I look at this game and you're looking at a number where Ohio State is only favored by 2.5 at the stadium. Like, and the over is 47.5. You're counting on some defense here. You're counting on 24-23. Like, that says something to me that this game's going to be very close because you can't tell me either one of these teams does either one of these teams with these defenses on the field score 30 plus.
Yes, I think the winner will score 30. I do.
I don't think
And
so.
the only reason I say that is with the caliber of wide receiver talent in this game, that is what can break the game open. You do not have just Joe Schmo running routes, dude. You've got the best of the best out there running routes, and you want to talk about development. You want to talk about guys who are NFL ready, still playing at the college level. I'm telling you, Jeremiah Smith's going to be a problem in this game. I'm just telling you right now. And I think that yeah, Julian Sain's a freshman, and yeah, he doesn't have a lot of experience. But I think if you're sitting here saying that, not that you are, but I see people saying, hey, Texas is going to have, a relatively easy time. They're going to win this by 7 to 10 points. I think you're out of your mind, dude. I think these guys are a lot better than you think.
I think Julian's saying right now, a lot of people love this idea that he is inexperienced. And, if I hear one more person say that he's a statue and he doesn't run, that's completely false. Like, I think there's so much unknown about Julian saying that people are just creating narratives almost that they want to be true. Julian Sain is an elite quarterback. I am not worried about his level of performance. He and Arch Manning. Arch has got a lot more experience in a lot of big situations, obviously, with what happened with Quinn Ewers last year and the reps that Arch got. But make no mistake about it. There is very, very little. The margin is razor thin between Arch Manning being better than Julian Sain. And I don't even know that it's that far apart.
And I also think it needs to be said that the pressure here in terms of who's got more pressure on him week one is very clear that it's on Arch, not Julian. And I think that that's also a big factor. Not that Arch is feeling it, right? Because I think Arch to me is that guy that, those athletes that are just cold-blooded by nature. They just they don't feel the pressure. The pressure is not really a thing that they deal with mentally. Like I think Arch is one of those guys that just doesn't really feel it all that much. But I think the expectations are through the roof, man. Like I agree that the expectation is you're going to win this game, but I don't know if that actually plays out.
Yeah, I thought it was very telling. There's a stat out there, and if I get this wrong, please don't lose your bacon over it. In the last 20 years, freshman quarterbacks making their first start against a top rated team are 0-18. In the last 20 years, quarterbacks making their first start against number one ranked teams are 0-18. And I think that is a huge, huge issue. And I say that because when you look at, and I was reading 11 Warrior on Twitter today, and you look at this right here, and I think this is absolutely right. This right here is exactly what you want. And I think this kid, I'm leaning Ohio State. I'm just going to be honest with you. As much as I love Texas, I love the build of that team. It moves a little bit every time I think about Texas's defense.
Stay hard.
And I think so many people are underselling Julian Sayin. And you look at what his coach is saying to him. That's why this guy's a quarterback whisperer. He's not saying the entire day's on you. You got, it's time to perform. It's time to shine. Just do what you got to do to make sure we win the game. You've got, look what he says here. You've got a good group of dudes around you. You have a really good defense. You have a really good offensive line and special teams, good skill guys. Let those guys win the game for you. Just make sure you do your job and we win the game. And I think that's exactly what makes Ryan Day and Ohio State my favorite in this game. And I think it's incredibly difficult to pick that. I don't know. I don't know that we've had a game this close and this difficult to call so early in the season. I mean, last year we knew Texas was going to kick the crap out of Michigan. That game was not going to be close, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, you look at big matchups, and I think when you watch Arch Manning, and I was watching a lot of Julian Sayin from last year, the Purdue game, I think he probably showed you more than most other games. Watching his film that's out there, if you go look at his huddle tapes, and if you go look at the Ohio State tape, the limited tape that's available, Julian Sayin is not going to be the reason they lose this game. Damn well might be the reason they win the game with that offensive talent. He might be the reason they win the game. My prediction is I don't believe that Julian Sayin will be the reason that Ohio State won't win this game.
Yeah.
I think that he is, and you guys know if you watch this show, I love Arch Manning. I think he has a chance. He has the chance to be the single greatest Texas quarterback in the history of Texas quarterbacks. He can be, if he wins the national championship the next 2 years, Arch Manning will be the single greatest quarterback, the most celebrated quarterback, the most lauded, loved, absolutely stroked quarterback in the history of Texas Longhorn football. And that's saying something.
You got to get stroked.
That's how much I think of Julian Sayin, because I think they're that close. I think they're right next to each other. That awkward guy, I used my B-Day wish on the game Texas over Ohio State. Bro, and I don't even know that you're wishing that much. Do you guys understand? I was looking at some metrics last night because the Cubs were off, so I was not nude. And the metrics
I want to thank me for having no days off.
I was looking at some metrics last night about these two defenses. I mean, I think there is a chance on these two defenses between the 22 starters that as many as 12 are first or second round picks.
Is it possible that they could ride the D?
Let that marinate in your brain. 12 of 22 starters on these two defenses could likely be first or second round picks. That's how good these defenses are. And
Yes.
I have no idea how to pick this game. As I sit here today, I lean Ohio State by the slimmest of margins. Shouty. Next to VY05 Arch Manning, dude. And that's the conversation, Shouty. I don't know if you remember. We battled about this back and forth a couple of weeks ago. It was further, are you guys ready for this word? It was further exacerbated when Archie Manning was coming out saying that Arch is staying at Texas. Now, Chaboy already had told you that, and I'm Chaboy. That's me.
Well, he's going to the NFL, Monty.
You know.
First overall pick next year. Like, he's going to the NFL.
Yeah, I don't believe that to be true. I just don't. Joey Harper. Cleveland solved their quarterback problem by trading tiny hands to the Raiders. Yeah, we got to get into – I'm going to talk about this Texas-Ohio State game a little more, and I want to talk about Portnoy a little more, but the absolute ramshackle – and I'm glad I'm finally not the only one saying this. Pretty much every national pundit is pointing out. I was telling you guys, hey, if you look at the depth chart that has been on the field, if you look at the talent that's been on the field with Shedeur Sanders, it is unbelievable. He's never played with the number ones. In all of his preseason reps, do you guys understand that? He's never played with the number ones. Do you understand that Dylan Gabriel has never played with the threes? All Shedeur Sanders has had on the field with him, I think it's 2 number 2s on the depth chart, 3 4s and 5s. And he only had 4s and 5s this past weekend. And finally, I am not the only one saying that the Cleveland Browns railroaded Shedeur. It's unbelievable.
And here's the thing, too. And we'll finish this Texas Ohio.
I guess we can get into it now. Thanks a lot, Joey.
Okay,
God
let's finish
damn.
Texas Ohio State. I'll save my point.
All right, where are you guys at on Texas Ohio State? Do you think Ohio State tried to ban Dave Portnoy? Mike Phillips, Portnoy needs to be banned from Earth. So are we? Because Dave has not been politically correct, pro-woman, right? Like, Dave Portnoy has done some pretty amazingly shitty things as a human being. Does that mean he shouldn't be on Big Noon Kickoff? Would I have hired Dave Portnoy? No. Was it a stroke of brilliance to hire Dave Portnoy? Yes. I think it was a really good move. It's paying off already, and we haven't even had him on TV yet.
What does paying off mean? Just that we're talking about Fox?
That not us.
Well,
we're
everybody's
just some
talking
little
about
old
Fox.
show here on the Marty program.
Hey, Morty.
Everybody is saying the words Big Noon Kickoff today. When you have every major college football writer talking about it, when you have every fan base talking about it, when you see the enormity of the push that this story got, when Ohio State's athletic director have to issue a statement to the media, when the Big Ten is issuing a statement to the media, when Fox is, dude, this is exactly why you hired Dave Portnoy, because he's controversial, and you are going to find yourself in situations where I think people are figuring out why they hired Dave Portnoy. And frankly, I don't have a whole lot of problem with it. I really don't have a whole lot of problem with it. I just don't. And
I think people are going to have a problem with it when he says something or does something that he shouldn't do and puts Fox in a bad spot, because that will happen. You can count on that.
I think that's you think he's still that guy.
100%. Yep.
Okay.
I think he's still the same guy. I think he will. There's a difference between saying controversial things inside of a sports take about sports versus just saying controversial things in general. And Dave doesn't, like, again, it's both the best and worst part about Dave. Like, he'll give you really controversial takes, but sometimes they rub a lot of people the wrong way. So I'm just telling you, it's a ticking time bomb, just the same way it is with McAfee. McAfee says some dumbass things from time to time, like he did with Caitlin Clark, or like he did with a bunch of other stuff, and like he did with all the Aaron Rodgers stuff. And it was drama city for ESPN for 2 weeks at a time. And I'm telling you, eventually, it's gonna wear off. Eventually, unless he turns into a guy that can reliably go on Big Noon Kickoff and can reliably, deliver great content that people are like, hey, I'm turning on Big Noon Kickoff to watch Dave, then it'll just be curious to see how we measure success with this. I agree the early results are good only because everyone's talking about Big Noon Kickoff.
I think the misogynistic stuff and the sexual harassment accusations, and I mean, if you think about the stuff that Dave has been involved in, sued, I believe it was, I think he was sued for sexual misconduct, which he vigorously defended. I mean, this year he had obviously the incident at the Barstool bar, I think in Philly. But I mean, he's dipped his toe consistently in racial waters. I think that it is just not your cleanest hire.
Yeah.
In a company like Fox, who has a terrible history of misconduct, crimes against women. I mean, it's too much of what you've always been at Fox, especially at Fox News. And I think that's problematic. I really do. Big Daddy Dallas, hello. Good to see you. Blows my mind that Fox thought it was a good idea to hire that clown. We already had a clown in Charles Woodson. Whoa. I know Charles very, very well. I've spent a lot of time around Charles Woodson, and he is not a clown. They're already thrown their weight behind the Michigan punishment. Not wrong. Well, here's a shocker. Portnoy is an American treasure.
Man, I'm so surprised that that's your take.
And are you going to have are you not here today celebrating Shador being third? Remember, you're the one who said he wasn't an NFL talent and he sucks. And, I'm interested to see. Never mind. K-State Scott, I just turned it off via YouTube TV app and now using my phone on the TV app. Okay. I'm sorry. What did I miss there? Mike Smith, I don't bother watching any pregame shows anymore. I'm largely in the same mindset there. Big Daddy Magic, I'm hoping Texas wins. Texas is the home of Victor. Just one day in your life, dude. This is the flavor now with Trump. No more DEI. I don't even know that it's DEI. I think the issue is Dave Portnoy has a checkered past when it comes to issues of racism, when it comes to certainly with treatment of women. But Urban Meyer is sitting on your set, and I know that probably, tweaks Ohio State fans, but Urban Meyer is not exactly, everybody's All-American on his own, right? I think we know his checkered past at Florida and at Ohio State. Like, does Fox really care about somebody who doesn't seem to always respect women? I'm going to say they don't. David Persons, good to see you, dude. Dave Portnoy is an embarrassment to Dave's everywhere, but he is interesting. Okay. Unique perspective.
See, he can say
Dave.
that. He can say that.
The Dave,
The Daves.
I would agree with that. K-State Scott, I'm looking forward to TCU, UNC, and Utah, UCLA.
Well, I don't know what
there...
UNC is. I don't know what UNC is. TCU versus the Nipples. That's what you should have been saying.
Okay. Well, why? You have this weird obsession with men's parts. Like, I don't understand why the nipple reference. Like, where does
What do
that
you
come
mean?
from?
Dude is on Ring Doorbell.
This is the picture you've sent me, right? Like, this is who you are. This is who you are, calling for pictures of Billy's nips.
Yeah. I mean, is that not what we do on this show?
No, I would never do such a thing. Oh, hey, Rory.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Good to see you. No, I would never.
Macaque.
You would. I would never. I like,
Right.
I'm interested. Are there high hopes? Are there high hopes at all that Bill Belichick when the day he walks out of Chapel Bill for the last time, will Bill Belichick have a plus 500 record, better than 500? Will Bill Belichick win more games than he loses at North Carolina?
I think so.
You do?
Slightly more. Slightly
Okay.
more. Not a lot, though.
Okay. Yeah. Big Daddy Dallas. Come on, Monty. We all know Charles Woodson's a Michigan homer just like Desmond Howard. Okay. Why does that make him a scumbag? Like, we go too far. Like, he didn't kick your puppy. He was one of the greatest college football players ever. And he happened to play at Michigan. Now, as a Notre Dame fan, okay. But having worked around Charles for a long time, he's a good dude. He's not a scumbag. Like, I'm not, that's just not the way. Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. But, it's fine. Length and girth. Okay.
Here we go.
I mean, you're the one calling.
and girth.
What do you mean, here we go? You're the guy calling for some dude's tits on the show.
Because dude's commenting
Are
about
you kidding
UNC.
me?
It's a
Are you kidding?
requirement to put a nipple picture on the screen. I mean, come on.
Here's the problem. You become a woodsman in Oregon, and now you're asking for dudes'
woodsman.
titties. Now it's, I want to see his titties. Well, I'm not playing your game.
A woodsman. Yeah, there's a lot of redwoods over here, Monty.
That's what she said. Portnoy is a try-hard and is more annoying than entertaining. Gruden, on the other hand, is the reason why Barstool's ratings skyrocketed this year. I don't even disagree with that.
Yeah, I agree. Gruden would have been a better.
No. Here's what you don't understand. Dave Portnoy is the mind behind Barstool. He's the business guy. He's the operator. He's the guy that concepts. It's his money. It's his decision. He's got great people working around him who you've never heard of and never seen. But make no mistake about it. Dave Portnoy is an excellent businessman. And I would not. Is he great? I don't know that we'll find out. This is as much on-air exposure as he's ever going to get. So we'll see. I don't know. Chad Perling. I've never seen any Portnoy programming. So when he dipped his toe in racial waters, was that the sexual assault? No. I vividly remember he had a blackface controversy. And I should look it up. I want to make sure that I get it right because I know there's video of him. There's video of him using racial slurs. Like, I mean, he is. Let's see. From Variety Magazine, 2020, Barstool Sports founder unapologetic about using racist language in comedy videos. I'm uncancelable. So I'm going to say again, this is probably not the guy. And according to Variety, quote, in 2016, in a segment about Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem, Portnoy said, so I'm going to say something that's racist. and explaining that he thought, and this is exactly who I view Dave Portnoy as, explaining he thought Kaepernick was, quote, an ISIS guy. Throw a head wrap on this guy. He's a terrorist. That's who Dave Portnoy is. And that's why when I say you get into stereotyping and you get into issues of race, Dave Portnoy is probably not your guy unless you're Eric Wasikowski. And then he is your All-American, right? Like, that's what's amazing.
Pretty much.
Bailey Dietrich, Kenny Pickett got traded to the Raiders. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Wasikowski. Save Cracker Jack from going woke. You mean Cracker Barrel? We're going to talk about that later in the show, too. Eric, who has never, ever once been able to define the word woke. Even my asshole brother dropped a woke bomb on me the last time we had our huge fight. I was like, dude, can you define woke? Couldn't define it. Because you guys don't know what woke means, because it's not like a thing. And I just wish people with this stupid Cracker Barrel logo, like, how on earth do you turn that into a woke thing? There's a politician that I tweeted about the other day who's like, I used to work at Cracker Barrel. I even gave my life to Christ at Cracker Barrel. What on God's green earth does that have to do with them making a shitty marketing decision?
Because it is crappy.
It's not a good logo. I don't think anybody argues with that. But what does your feeling about Christ and giving myself to Christ? First of all, Jack Wagon, what were you doing giving yourself to Christ in a Cracker Barrel parking lot? Had the lot lizard just left?
Image and likeness.
Had she just strolled off and you were like, oh, God, save me.
Put me in that vat of freaking gravy.
Let me go into Cracker Barrel and play the triangle golf tee game and stuff.
We really did.
Like, I'll never understand it. I will never, ever. Oh, man, woke. Shut up. Chewy Gonzalez, Portnoy versus McAfee. Who's the douchiest? Oh,
yes.
my God.
Yes.
Pat McAfee's a douchebag. Dave Portnoy is an elitist. He's not a douchebag. I don't think by any stretch. Domer Wap, love you guys. Keep doing your thing. Keep challenging the narrative. We all appreciate you immensely.
Domer.
Thank you, Domer. Appreciate you.
Domer.
Hope I appreciate CJ Carr as much as I appreciate you.
Yeah, CJ Carr. I mean, Jimmy Clausen. Domer.
Oh, I've never been more nervous about Notre Dame football than I am this year. I have no idea. I don't know if CJ Carr can play the position. Like, we're talking about Julian saying, if he was our starting quarterback at Notre Dame, hell yes. CJ Carr. Okay. Let's see how that turns out. David Persons gifted 5 Monty Show memberships. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Make sure you hit the like button. Everybody watching the show right now, find us on the audio podcast, The Monty Show, Apple, Spotify, iHeart. I'm not an Android guy because I have morals and values, but is it the Google Play Store? Believe it is.
Because it's garbage.
Nobody likes Androids. If you're one of the 17 people on the planet that have an Android, you figure it out, loser. My point I'm kidding. Totally.
Well,
kidding.
Monty, the S10 8041 is way better than the iPhone.
Hey, bro, look how this phone screen bends in half. It's amazing.
Monty, when I roll up to the rectory, the flip phone from Samsung allows me to inspect my device.
Oh my God. I have to read this DM. So you guys remember the UPS conversation from yesterday?
Yes.
The Terrence, who is Big T, who is an Amazon driver in Wade County, Florida, was telling me yesterday I still rock the Motorola Razr. Would you advise me to get the new iPhone they're about to announce? Yes. If you're rocking a Razr, get any iPhone.
Dude.
Hey, are you listening to us on a Walkman right now?
Brother.
Terrence? My
Dude,
guy.
you have like over the head headphones too that you plug into that thing.
Oh my, I am so glad you talked about a flip phone. Can you believe that my dude Terrence is still rocking a Razor?
Yeah. So how are you listening to the show then, dude? Like
Incredible. That he heard us. Do you want to know how long this guy's listening to the show? This has to be last Christmas. I bought my wife an iPad mini.
yeah.
He has an iPad mini with a one of those magnet. Why can't I think of what it's called?
MagSafe.
MagSafe, with a MagSafe case and holder in his truck. And that's how he watches the show.
Watching
Watching
the show on iPad is underrated, I have to say.
Oh, it is, totally. He was telling me I got him hooked on Grant Horvat golf. And it goes back to, you guys remember when we were talking about Bryson DeChambeau hitting balls over his house? Like, so he watches golf and he watches the Monty Show. And he said the biggest problem with being a driver making deliveries is he'll walk out of the truck and get back in the truck and he will have missed a good shot or something. I'm like, hey, dude, that's why, it's fine. Okay. Anyway, Terrence, yes, get the new iPhone. Jimmy Otson, wait, 2 Shakes is in Oregon, University of Oregon. Yes, Jake. For those who don't know, Jake this fall enrolled at the University of Oregon. He is majoring in dickbagonomics, and he is hoping to get his master's
I've been banned
degree
from the campus though. It's all e-learning, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jake's significant other got a job at a certain little school.
Pack this thing up. We're out of here.
And now Jake is a woodsman and he's got an axe and he's like chopping wood.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
By the way, your fat ass is back in the gym too now. I sent Jake yesterday. Jake's like, oh, Monty, the soreness is real, Monty.
The DOMs are coming for that ass.
Delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMs. Brother. So I sent Jake a whole slew of bucked up. I'm telling you, the stack: EAAs, essential amino acids, buck built, which is glutamine, and oh my God, it went right out of my head. Oh my God, the supplement I tell everybody to take every day. Creatine. Hi, I'm 79 years old and I need more creatine. Creatine and glutamine. That's what you drink while you're working out. I sent him 2 things of creatine because I believe if you are men or women or children, I think you should be taking human. I think you should be taking 10 grams of creatine every single day.